Namaskaram. My name is CV. CV is short for Chandramouli Venkatesh, and I live in Seattle, USA. Happy to present this session titled sangIthamum sAppAdum. So, Sangeetam means music, sAppAdum means food. So, what is this session about? This is basically a light-hearted attempt, although a very sincere attempt, to explain concepts of Indian classical music, especially Carnatic music, using culinary analogies. Especially understanding the sophisticated nuances and complex concepts unique to Indian music, which can be very hard to understand for the beginners. Trying to see if I can explain those using some culinary analogies, right? So if you're wondering why am I qualified to explain this, I would describe myself as a lifelong student, an ardent fan of classical music, and an occasional performer of Carnatic vocal music here in the Seattle area. And I've tried this explanation with some of the students in the music circle here in Seattle, and it has worked very well. And I thought I would just share with the rest of the music community as well. So, music is an abstract art concept, abstract art, sorry, and Indian music and Carnatic music in particular has a lot of complex concepts, nuances, which typically take a lot of technical jargon to explain, and it's quite intimidating for the beginners, right? So, if you are a curious listener or a little more than say an intermediate beginner, then this session probably will be helpful for you. So let's cut to the chase. So the analogies to keep in mind are as follows. Okay. So you have the 12 note positions. So if you look at your keyboard or look at your piano, you see the white and black keys. So one octave has 12 such keys. Think of each of those keys as the raw ingredients that you use in your cooking. Okay. So similarly, in the culinary world, you have these raw ingredients, right? Now, the concept of a raga is what you will start with. Now, what is a raga? Raga, ragam, rag, you will hear it called with these various names. Wikipedia has like a two-page explanation for what a raga is, right? You ask musicians, performing musicians, every one of them has a different explanation for it. You will hear explanations like, oh, it is just a musical mood, oh, it is just the color, or you will hear it like, hey, it is a scale that you use to improvise within. Or somebody will say, oh, raga cannot be explained, it is something very unique to Indian music. All of the above are true. So here is an attempt to explain raga using culinary analogies, right? So a raga is basically like a dish, okay? So think of a dish like say sambar or idli or palak paneer or whatever it is, tomato soup, whatever. Think of each of them, each of these dishes. Think of them as ragas, okay? So take a raga like kalyani, okay? So for example, kalyani would be, let's say the equivalent dish is like say a sambar. Now, how do you explain sambar, right? You to explain sambar, unless you have tasted it, you first of all need a recipe, right? The recipe starts with the raw ingredients that go into making the sambar. You start with, hey, tamarind, salt, lentils, water, whatnot, right? You know, there's a list of ingredients that goes into making the sambar. Similarly, for Kalyani, there's a list of notes, right? There are 7 notes that Kalyani uses, sArAgama, pada, those are the raw ingredients, right? But just putting these ingredients together, I guarantee you, will not give you Kalyani, right? And just mixing these ingredients together is not going to give you sambar. So how do you make sambar out of these ingredients? The recipe then goes on to describe how much of each one of these to add, right? There are some ingredients which are like major ingredients, so you have to emphasize them more. Some of them are just for a tinge of flavor here and there, right? Exact same way, there is like major notes which are like super important to bring out the characteristic essence of that raga, right? So Kalyani, for example, the nishadam or the ni is like emphasized quite a bit. So apart from this emphasis, The recipe also describes the order in which you need to add these ingredients. It's not like you just put everything together in like one shot. You will not get a sambar then. Most importantly, the recipe describes how you cook each one of these ingredients. So this method of cooking of each one of these ingredients, say whether it's like frying or steaming or boiling, think of these as like various techniques of cooking. So the equivalent in Indian music is the ornamentation of the notes, or how you actually treat these notes and how you actually approach the notes. These are called as gamakas or gamaks or gamakas, right? So think of the gamakas as the ways of cooking techniques that you apply to the ingredients themselves. When you apply them right, it brings out that unique flavor in each of these ingredients, right? That's what it takes. You have to put all of this together to make a dish. Same way you have to put all of this together to make a raga. Now, all said and done, you could go and read a recipe 8 million times, right? You are still not going to understand what the sambar is, right? Reading a book 9 million times is going to be completely useless, right? Then how do you know what a sambar is? You have to taste it. You have to like appreciate it. And you have to have some good sambar. You have to have some awesome examples and awesome samples here and there, right? That's when you know what good sambar actually tastes like. Exact same way, reading about Kalyani is not going to give you Kalyani, right? You will never understand what Kalyani is unless you listen to a lot of Kalyani, a lot of good Kalyani. One step further, if you attempt to make that sambar yourselves, take the ingredients, put them together, see if you are able to even remotely get to half of what a good Kalyani is, right? That is what it takes to get a good rendition of a raga as well. So put these ingredients together, attempt to make kalyani by yourselves, and each time you go back and fix what you did wrong, what you did wrong. That is how you make a good kalyani, right? So with this analogy as the foundational framework, we can actually answer a lot of questions that often come up about Indian music, and especially the notion of ragas, because the notion of a raga is like fairly unique to Indian music, especially Indian classical music. Although a lot of Indian film music also has raga as the basis and the foundation, so it helps us understand a lot of these concepts quite well. So let's have some fun with this as the basis. Let's understand some of these questions as we go along.